Milinković-Savić, hero or villain? Welcome to White Eagles TV. My name is Mitch from Sydney, Australia again. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode. This episode we're going to talk about Sergej Milinković-Savić. You may be wondering, how can you call him what are you doing in a segment called Heroes and Villain? He just got us to the World Cup. What are you talking about? Of course he's a hero. Absolutely, I agree that he has now got us to that World Cup, and he deserves accolades, no dramas. But my issue with him, and this is I guess where for me it comes the villain side, is his role in getting a man sacked just for him to play. And we're talking about the coach of the Serbian football team at the time, this gentleman here. Let me just find him. Slavoj Muslin. Now, Serbia's darkest day in football, I guess post-war, I won't get into pre-war, but say post-war, I would say, me personally, is probably 2016. For you diehard fans out there like me would know that Serbia made the 2010 World Cup where we underperformed and we were out first round. And then after that, it was just disaster after disaster. 2012, we missed out on Euros. We all know that. 2014, we missed out on the World Cup in Brazil. We all know that. But for me personally, 2016 was probably the darkest day for us. We all probably remember that idiot with the drone when Serbia played Albania and the game was suspended. Our fans ran onto the field, attacked some of their players, and boom, that was it, done. I think we finished second on the group, second last in the group. We had all points deducted. It was terrible. After that, they got rid of the coach, Čučić, and the only person that really sort of stepped up for the job is the man on your screen right there, Muslin, probably our first ever bold manager. And he's taken up the reins in 2016. Now, you look at that group we had. We had three teams in there: Austria, Ireland, and Wales. All made Euro 2016. Serbia didn't make it, but we made it. No one wanted the job, maybe, but only one man decided to take the job, and that's the man on your screen right there. Our first ever bold Serbian manager. Now, I remember seeing an interview, I couldn't find it, but where he basically very optimistic about making the World Cup in 2018. And when you look at the group we had, probably didn't I'm not sure where he got that optimism from. He had three teams that made Euros. We didn't make Euros. And now we're drawn in a group with those three teams and Georgia, and there was one other team I can't remember. And they're not important. Now, he takes the reins when no one wanted it. The darkest period of our time in 2016. He takes it, and one performance after another. I mean, we are winning games. I mean, I was at the Maracana with my dad and my best mate when Serbia played Austria, and I remember winning. We won the game 3-2, and probably had no right to win the game. We were very shaky at the back. Every time Austria and Nartovic went attacking in our defense, we looked very suspect at the back. But we recorded a 3-2 win, and that's all that matters. You get it to 3 points. No one remembers these performances. And we went to Ireland. We won 1-0 over there. Akolov, a gun, a hit with his left. It was incredible. And then I remember after that we lost to Austria in Austria. Then we come back to Belgrade against Georgia. All we needed to do was win, and we are at the World Cup. We are at the World Cup. It is that simple. And what happens? It was a Prijović goal. We won the game 1-0. Serbia qualifies for the World Cup. Massive, massive achievement. No one would have thought that was possible considering the group we had with three teams that made Euros. We didn't make Euros. We didn't make the World Cup 2014. We didn't make Euros 2012. And, you got to say we're buzzing. The Maracana was packed on that day. It was a sellout. And Prijović scores. Boom, we are at the World Cup. Happy days. This is October sometime. Late October, the gentleman on your screen, not me, the bold manager, he gets the sack. And the president at the time, Korkiza, pretty sure that's how you pronounce his name, he says the reason we sacked him, we weren't playing good enough football. That was it. That was the reason they sacked him, which was incredible. I mean, there it is there. It's, despite taking his country to Russia, Muslim was fired on the 30th of October. That's incredible. I mean, you name a country now that sacks their manager after qualifying for a World Cup. I mean, Samo Srbiju, that's a famous saying. The only things happen in Serbia, this has got to be one of them. Why would you sack a man who just qualified for the World Cup? Now, we were playing bad football. Okay, some of the football we were playing wasn't the best, and yeah, we were suspect at the back, no doubt. I mean, anytime a team attacked us at the back, it looked like we were conceding. But even with that defense and us potentially being conceding, we still made the World Cup against 3 teams that were at Euros. We weren't at Euro 2016, and then they sacked this guy. I can't believe it. Anyway, so there was always, throughout this campaign, there was always talk that there was pressure on Muslim to play some of the players that that won Serbia the Under-20 World Cup in New Zealand, okay, the Under-20 team. I was actually at the game, Serbia versus Brazil, with my now wife and one of my good mates. We flew over for the game. We were there, and I had the pleasure to meet a couple of players. I met Vanja Milinković-Savić, I met the coach, Paunović, I met Rajković. Incredible experience, and I got to meet the players. I met Sab Milosevic, took a photo with him, and I remember drinking in Auckland after the game. Serbia had won the World Cup, under 20s, but nevertheless, it was promising. And those players were going to have their time in the national team, no doubt. But the pressure was on Muslim to play these players, and Muslim said that their time will come. This is a squad I rely on. These are the players that are so far winning me games. There's no point in changing a winning formula. But regardless of that, there was still a lot of pressure on Muslim to play players, in particular, this man right here. Sergej Milinković-Savić, SMS, I'll just call him SMS, just make it easier for me. Was born in Spain, so there was always that possibility that he could have been capped by Spain, and boom, he's gone for Serbia, which would have been a disaster. He definitely should play for Serbia, but Muslim is where the buck stops. He's the manager. If they don't qualify, he's the one that gets sacked. These players don't get sacked. They just play in the next qualifying campaign. Muslim, it was his head on the block, and when you're winning and you're top of the group and it looks like you're going to make the World Cup, how can you say you're making the wrong decisions? You've got to back him. If the coach is saying, I don't want to play SMS, that's it, done. I mean, me personally, I would have put SMS on the bench and let him come on against one of the Georgia away last 10 minutes when maybe we're winning 2-3-0, and it doesn't really matter. I would have brought him on. I would have probably brought on Veljković and then a few of the other players and cap him. And I mean, it didn't really matter about capping the other players, but maybe only with SMS you had to cap him because, he's Spanish born. So there's a real possibility that Spain could cap him just so Serbia can't use him anymore. The same way they did with Bojan Krikic. He played a couple games for Spain and boom, gone. That was it. And so I understand the Serbia's point of view, and probably Muslim was wrong in not playing him. But to sack him because he didn't want to play this player, that's wrong. And it shows the old saying, someone was why? And Muslim, after he got sacked, pointed to SMS and said that the reason he got sacked is because Matej Kecman, we were all probably aware of him, played for PSV, decent player, excellent player at PSV, world-class player at PSV. Then he went to Chelsea where he struggled poorly. He struggled. I mean, he played as bad as he looks in this photo right there. And then after he went to Madrid, he did not too bad, not too good. He had a disgraceful performance at 2006 World Cup for Serbia and Montenegro as it was back then. And then he never played after that World Cup. I think he got himself sent off against Argentina and boom, that was it. He took off early. So obviously he's all for him. It's all for himself. It's all about Matej Kecman. So that was what Muslim said. He got sacked because Kecman wanted Milinković-Savić to play SMS, and for obvious reasons. I mean, we all know that player agents, they want their players to play so they can sell them and make money for themselves and the player and the club, which was obviously the case with SMS. He was playing at Lazio. Okay, it's a decent team in Italy. It's actually my team in Italy. A lot of huge Serbs used to play in Lazio. Jugovic, Kovacevic, Mihajlovic, Stankovic, and you could Dusan Basta. Even right now, SMS plays there. So there's a long history of Serbs playing for Lazio. Now, to sack a man, Muslim, who just qualified for the World Cup because SMS wasn't allowed to play. I mean, that is absolutely disgraceful. I mean, I can't imagine anything worse than that. What other country would sack their manager just because he refused to play one player, regardless of the possibility of him being capped by another team? Muslim, he earned his stripes. He wasn't probably the best manager in world football. I mean, he was a bit of a journeyman. Probably never lasted 1 or 2 seasons a team. If you look through his history, it's every second or every year or second year he was at a new team in some country, not big nations, but he still deserved that possibility, that chance to go to the World Cup. This is his project. He got Serbia to the World Cup. He deserves his chance. And so I picked up on this FIFA article where it says here, so if you look at the second line, the Lazio star was included in his country's 2006 Russia 2018 bound World Cup squad, despite not having participated in any of the qualifiers. And here's his quote: "I didn't feel that I deserved to be there," he told FIFA, which is spot on. He didn't deserve to be there. No way did he deserve to be there. He was going to have his chance later on in his career. I mean, we're talking 5 years ago. Well, I think he's about 27 now. Yeah, he's 22 back then. Come on. He's going to have his chance to play for the national team. There's no need to sack a manager because one player couldn't play for the national team. And then you think about it. Say, and this is the end result. After that, Branislav Ivanovic, one of our greatest defenders and will go down as one of our best ever players. Not long after that, he gets stripped of the captaincy. Now, I don't know why the captaincy got taken off him. I can only speculate. Did he say something? Did he say